podcast is sponsored by Sunset Baptist Church and Reverend Lonnie B. Hogan. Sunset Baptist Church is located at 5224 South Avalon. If you're looking for a loving church and a great pastor, feel free to visit Sunset Baptist Church, 5224 South Avalon Boulevard. God bless. Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Tamla Devon with Help Me to Help, and I am here with Dr. Nathan F. Rabb, Jr., and he is a traditional naturopath doctor, correct?
Correct.
All right. And I was reading over your credentials, and you are very well learned, I see.
No thing or two.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. I see that you have a doctor's degree in naturopathy, correct?
Yes.
So why don't you explain to our listening and viewing audience exactly what it is that a traditional naturopath doctor does?
Traditional naturopathy is the unlicensed branch, and mine was grandfathered in years ago because I've been involved about 42 years now. And there wasn't the naturopathic doctor as they have now, that wasn't around at that point. But we always had guidelines to follow. The schools I went to, that they had a large syllabus telling you the things to stay away from, because we're not medical, so we didn't use medical jargon, we didn't do things that treating diseases and all of that. Mm-hmm. Our role was to teach people how to rebuild their health. And you did it, staying away from certain terminology, which could always get you in trouble. Right. And so I learned that lesson early and stayed with it. Other than that, naturopathy has been a blessing. Learned a lot, traveled a lot, and been able to assist a lot of people in recovering their health, and never once telling anybody that we were treating a disease.
Now, your reputation supersedes you, because I've heard so many wonderful things about you. I mean, I've actually been hearing about you for at least 20 years, Dr. Rabb. And I'm honored to be sitting with you today. And so I know that I could pick your brain for hundreds of diseases. And but I am here today because I want to get your take on cancer and the prevalence of it, and why we're hearing so much more about various or different cancers nowadays. And so is that okay with you?
Sure.
Right. Well, I'll go over a few things that you specialize in. Why don't we talk about that for a minute?
Well, basically I specialize in holistic health. We do it the holistic way. And holistic can be spelled with a W on H. Whatever. In my holistic health service thing, I had the H there because of some of my biblical background growing up in a family that my father was a minister, my mother was a missionary, and we went to church every Sunday whether we wanted to or not. Mm-hmm. And even after getting away from there and growing up a bit, I found myself going back. And so some things you learn you don't totally forget. You get away a minute and you kick your heels up or whatever, but the path back was there for me. So traditional naturopathy means that you're using plant-based nutrition. We're not using drugs. We're using not pharmaceuticals. We're using herbal things. I've made a lot of my own. I use other people's when I first started, of course, because I was learning. But for the past 30 years now, I've manufactured a lot of my own stuff and marketed them all over this country. Yeah. And we still get calls from people, wanting to purchase things. And I tell them now, I said, because my tender age of 77, I don't do a lot of the hands-on making things anymore. And they said, well, we want yours. I said, I'm glad you like it, but time passes on, and some things you could do as a youngster and did it with vigor and proud you could do it and seeing it work. Well, after you do that for about 35 years or so, you kind of mellow out and say, okay, we look for a good company that can provide me with some of these same things that people like. and they love to use. But there are still some that I still put together myself. And it's been a wonderful journey. But the major part of it all is I learned some things that stick with me, and they're still sticking. And that's that I'm not in the disease treatment business. I'm not necessarily in the healing business. I'm in the business of educating people on how to eat so that they can restore their health, because the body is the greatest healer. And if you put in the right things and clean out the wrong things, then the rest will take care of itself.
Isn't that amazing, the way that God created us in such a way that our bodies can heal themselves when given the opportunity?
Yes, we have to do our part. And with some, we get so addicted to the taste of certain things that we don't want to think about giving it up. And I sometimes will say to a person, I say, well, just give it up for a while so you can get your health back. Then after you get your health, moving in the right direction, then decide if you want to go backwards. Mm-hmm. And you would think the average person would say, no, I can do without all that. I don't want to go back. Yeah. But there are some that might do it for a week, 2 weeks, and they stop. I can't do this. I can't. And my mother has a saying, she's passed on now, but she said, can't is buried in Can's cemetery. Mm. That was one of her sayings. And so I learned it real well, and I tell it to people. Right. A lot of the things my mother used to spring on me and my siblings, I just keep them because they fit real good in some of those places.
And so essentially, people have to learn to change their mindset so that the body can heal.
Yeah, change your mind and your behind will follow.
That's right. That's really good. Change your mind and your behind will follow. We were talking earlier, and so what are some of the cancers that you are seeing an increase in these days?
Well, that's uterine, colon, liver, prostate, the blood cancer, like leukemia. And various names that sometimes they pop up and the person comes in and say, well, I've been diagnosed with this, and that's the first time I've heard of it. Wow. And a lot of those don't stick because you haven't heard them enough. But esophageal cancer, different things. And the bottom line of all of this is, it happened because the body was not properly nourished to keep the immune system strong and functioning. And also, when we don't detox the body periodically, the lymphatic system becomes stagnant, and that's where your killer cells are. That's the things that fight for you. They're in the lymphatic system. Now, if that system is weak, what's going to, do the fighting for you?
Right.
And it's amazing that a lot of people don't even know that. Mm-hmm. Why? It's not necessarily taught in school every day. It's almost as if they want to keep you ignorant so that they can make more money off of it.
I say that all the time. It really is. Well, illness is a money-making industry. Pharmaceuticals are major. So without illness, then you have the decline in the profit of the pharmaceutical companies. And so we have to be mindful. It's like you said, that we have to give our bodies the proper nutrition, and we have to detox. It's like, we take better care of our automobiles than we do of our own bodies.
Sure enough.
We get the oil changed, we get our levels checked, our fluid levels checked in our automobiles, but we don't do that for our body.
No, and plus we put things into the body that has no life. And if you're consuming dead things, where's the life supposed to come from?
Say that again.
When you're consuming dead food, where's the life supposed to come from? Or you think it just falls out of the sky or whatever? No, the life is in the blood of the plants. It's in the roots, the vegetables. All there's a doctor in Houston, Texas, has his own hospital named Dr. Baxter Montgomery, and I've learned from him also. He only talks about plant-based nutrition, but he started out as a regular medical doctor doing that.
Okay, right. I get this a lot where people say, they'll go to the Bible and they say what God has ordained to be clean, you can eat. Again, food is not processed the same as it used to be. And I know I mentioned earlier about growth hormones. And so I know that, why don't you talk a little bit about that? When we consuming the dead foods anyway, animal products.
Yeah. Well, growing up on a farm in South Carolina back in 1942 is when I entered this earthen realm. We raised everything we ate. There were no chemicals in the fields, even where the cotton was grown. There was no chemicals there. There were no chemicals in the chickens. And the chickens, instead of my mother wringing her neck, she didn't wring her neck until the chicken was 16 weeks old. Mm-hmm. They're in the market now at 5 weeks, and they look like young turkeys.
Right.
And that's all those growth hormones. And you take fish. They have fish ponds now where they feed the fish some kind of cottonseed and different things, not what they normally eat. Mm-hmm. And they get larger. And now there's frankenfish that they just released into the wild. They think about 5 years from now, they will have wiped out all the regular fish that were there before. Wow. And they grow much larger, and they're ravenous eaters. So, we got a lot of stuff going on that I'm not a person, I don't eat fish anyway, I don't eat any flesh. So it's not something I have to be concerned about, but a lot of people do. Right. And genetically modification is all over the place. And we can't, close a blind eye to it and just act like it doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. It exists. And until mankind starts taking better care of his body temple, we're going to have sickness, illness, things that shouldn't be because we are not doing what we're supposed to be doing. The body, your body is the greatest healer. Yeah. You just have to work with it.
Have to work with it. And that's a question that I often pose to people. Do you want to be healthier? And like you said, sometimes people say, well, can I do this for a little while and then go back? Why go back to what made you sick in the first place? I don't think we understand that.
It's kind of difficult to understand, but when you hear it over and over and over, you don't let it bother you. And everyone that comes here that sits down in a chair and for counseling session, and I do my little analysis, diagnosis, analysis, and recommendation. We analyze and recommend. We don't diagnose and prescribe. And I share that with them. Now, a lot of the people accept it and they get started doing something. Now whether they stay with it long or not, we don't follow them around. If they come back, we know that they're staying up with getting the health back. But it's so many that they go through these analysis, and it tells them little things without giving them hard line, diagnosis. And so they say, wow, I guess I'm deficient in that mineral, or this mineral, or that vitamin. I said, well, this is what the program, because I'm taking a picture of the back of their hand and sending it into New York, and it's going through a computer, and it comes back. And it tells them things about their body. Okay. It doesn't talk about diseases. It talks about weaknesses, and things that are nourishment, we need to cleanse. And it's very accurate, but it's not a diagnosis. And a lot of the people they say, wow, how could you do that? And then they start looking at their hand. Mm-hmm. I said, well, you have lymphatic fluid, you have blood, you have derma, all of that is underneath here. It's reading what's moving through your system.
And that's why I like to bring in medical experts in different fields so that we can discuss different issues and make people more aware of what's going on with their bodies, because I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be. I want to bring people to where they can get help. Give them options. We have to have options. And I think that it's wonderful that we have those different avenues that we can take to improve our health. And so this is our body. We have to take responsibility for it. No one else is going to take responsibility for it. Not even our own doctors are going to take responsibility for it. And so these are things that we have to do ourselves in order to get healthier. Would you agree?
Yes, and there's absolutely a place for medical, because if someone has, say an accident happens right out in front of this building right now, and a person is sitting there bleeding. Now I may get some cayenne pepper to put on the bleeding so it can slow that up, but I'm going to call an ambulance for that person.
Right.
I'm not going to put, no, let's roll them in here and throw some herbs on. See,
Yeah.
so you have to know when to, as that old saying, know when to hold and know when to fold.
Right.
The problem I have with allopathic medicine is it wants all the places. You know, because there are doctors, and I've had my clients, you know, tell me this. They said, I went to my doctor and I asked him if these herbs were safe for me to use. I said, why would you do that? Well, I wanted to know if it was okay for me to use it. And one of the ladies said he took the bag and threw it across the floor.
Oh, wow.
And some have said, you know, I don't see any harm with it, you know, like that. But there are those who just don't want you, you know, they have no respect for it. And that has been here since the beginning. And allopathic medicine has been here a couple hundred years. Yeah.
But, I mean, like you said, traditional naturopathy or alternative medicine goes back in ancient times.
Way back. Way back, further than any allopathic whatever. That's a couple hundred years, 250. We've been around a lot longer than that.
Right.
But you know, that was the feeling, because this particular person was a medical doctor, and she said we want to highlight traditional and the alternative. So now I'm the alternative and you're the traditional, but yet you were a long time getting me.
Right. You know, again, going back to that, talking about how the traditional naturopathy is now classified as alternative medicine, and a lot of doctors or traditional doctors, or I'll call them contemporary doctors, they look down on holistic medicine.
And then I have lots of friends who they're medical doctors, but they don't look down on it, you know. And some of them even will get involved in you know, some of the natural medicine. But there are those who it's almost like venom when you say something to them about it, especially when somebody takes your bag of things, you come in just ask their opinion, and you just throw it across the floor and say, why are you wasting your money on this junk? You know. I said, well, a person like that, you should try to find somebody else to go to that's a little less harsh, and because natural has been here since the beginning. And sure, I'm sure there's been some things done wrong in every walk of life, but you know, to be cast aside as being a stepchild, I'm not buying that one.
Right. I mean, and so when you see, you know, people that are really following the change in lifestyle and, you know, the natural healing ways of the body, do you see a significant improvement in their life, in their health?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have some people that, you know, 20-year survivors that when they first came through here, they were diagnosed with cancer. They didn't get diagnosed here. They came through here and went through cleansing, and you know, some show up 10 years later, you know, and they're still doing well. And so, you know, things work. It's just that will the people work with it?
Right.
You know, it's not about the herbs and whatever don't work. I mean, they were created for man to use. You know, allopathic medicine is pharmakeia is what it's called. You know, it's not natural. It can save your life in an instant, and it can take it away later if you keep hanging on to the same. Like people get on these medications, and I've had people come here with those Ziploc bags with the green and yellow stripe, and with 18 drugs in there. And one lady one morning, it was an elderly lady, and I said, she asked me if I believed in witchcraft, and I said, I beg your pardon, do you believe in witchcraft? I said, nobody asked. She said, well, I feel like somebody just be sticking pins in my side, just sticking pins in my side. And I looked down, and under her chair was that bag. And I said, how many what drugs do you have in the bag? She said, 18. I said, how do you find time in a day? I said, in a day to take 18 drugs. She said, I take them all first thing in the morning, cup the hand like that.
Wow.
I take them first thing in the morning, get out of the way.
Oh my gosh. So now, what about all the side effects and the counteracting of the medication?
What I said to that lady was, I said, didn't your doctor tell you you couldn't take all these at the same time? She said, he didn't tell me nothing. He gave them to me and told me to take them.
Wow.
Now that's criminal, or worse.
That's why we got to be our own advocate.
Yes.
We have to.
Can't turn your body over to any and everybody. Just think, well, he the doctor. Got one lady in church told me that years ago. She said, I was doing a lecture on diabetes. And she stopped me. She raised her hand, and I stopped talking. Listen, I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, Dr. Rabb, you know, God created a doctor for us. And I had nothing to say about that. Because that's her belief. God created a doctor for her. But what is the doctor doing? What about you? He created you. You're supposed to be doing something. Know thyself.
That's right. Yeah.
But we're looking for somebody to take over for us instead of being responsible for yourself.
Yes, I was just thinking that we want to take the responsibility out of our own hands and put it into someone else's hands. But we have to be responsible for ourselves.
Well, no, because I don't have time. I got things to do. I got to go to the mall.
Yes. I share sometimes the story of my dad being diagnosed with heart disease at the age of 35, and how my parents continued with the same lifestyle that made them sick in the first place. And it's because of the lack of education, or, they didn't receive the information. Let's change your lifestyle, let's change what you've been intaking, and you can reverse this disease. We have to know that. If we make those changes, we have the possibility of reversing these diseases.
We have been really trapped into the so-called food chains. All of this stuff out here that is being, you go up and down this boulevard, you see all these fast food places. They're not healthy. But when you get up the stuff I eat up on Market, they have some healthy stuff in there. And then you go a little further out this way, there's these places that have some vegetarian things. But the majority of these down here is just garbage. It's plain garbage.
I have a relative who was diagnosed with colon cancer. And so what they do is they do the removal of part of the colon, and then they receive the chemo and the radiation. And people just don't realize that we have to stop putting in the poisons that cause us to get sick in the first place.
And they'll come and tell you that, they got it all. Got all of what? Your money? Because you can't cut cancer out of your body. Cancer is systemic. You cut one place, that didn't stop anything, or you cut this out, and maybe for a while you don't see the uprising, but if you don't correct what happened in the first place, you will see it again.
Right.
Very rarely don't you see it again. It's like a 3% survival rate beyond 5 years. That's not very good.
And it's because they're not giving the body the opportunity to heal.
Well, when you go through your chemo and radiation or surgery or whatever, they don't tell you. They say, go on with your life. That's basically what it is, because I hear it all the time. I said, well, what did you, when they told you this, whatever. And one lady, she had one breast removed. She came here after that. She said, I'm tired of these people butchering me. And I said, well, what did they tell you to do about your diet? She said, I asked my oncologist one day, what should I be eating? And she said, he told me, you need to go get some McDonald's so you can gain some weight. Because now when you have a metabolic disease, you're not metabolizing. So you put liquids in here, you put things in that has energy so it can keep you alive. It's not going to make you gain weight. You'll probably lose some. But you won't starve to death if you put in healthy plant-based nutrition in here, things that have life in it.
We really, again, I cannot reiterate it enough how we have to take responsibility.
Amen.
We have to do what's right for our bodies. Now, what is it the importance of people knowing their family history when it comes to cancer?
Let me tell you about this whole history thing. People are looking to put the blame on somebody that's already gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll say, well, so-and-so runs in our family. And every time I hear that, somebody sitting down there in the office with me, you know what I tell them?
What's that?
Well, you stop it right here. You run it out. They say it's not going beyond me. Because that whole thing about, that's just a cop-out. That's a way to blame it on ancestry. No, because some of those people live longer and some live shorter lives because of what was going on. They didn't have access to much of anything. If they didn't know about herbal medicine, then they didn't get to go to the doctors and whatever and get the drugs and things like that. Both of my parents lived into their 90s. And my father lived to be 95, my mother 90. So they grew up on the farm, and that's where most of their lives were spent.
Right.
You know, growing what they ate and you know, at the latter stages, and you know, they got into the doctor thing. But you know, they still put her in a pretty good time here on this planet.
Yeah, and that's true. So a lot of times we want to, well, I'll say this, a lot of times people don't realize that it has to do with, I want to say tradition or the way your family eats. It's a family history. It doesn't have to, like you said, you can stop it now. You don't have to be the one that continues on with this disease. If you stop doing those things that everyone else was doing in the family.
Yeah, because whenever somebody's in my office or in close proximity to me and they say, you know, so-and-so runs in our family, and I just tell them, I say, well, why don't you run it out so that it's not going beyond me?
Right.
I'm putting a stop to it right here. Because we can blame our ancestors for all of that. But that's not what happened. At some point, you needed to change.
It's like we don't push ourselves anymore to do more than we can.
No, and if you don't address the body the way it needs to be, things will get worse. You know, we start taking pharmaceuticals thinking that that's going to ease the pain. Oh yeah, it can block the nerve, but it didn't fix anything.
Right.
You just, well, if I don't feel it, it's how you, okay, if you think that's fixed it just because you don't feel it, it's deteriorating right on because you didn't change that. All you did was pull the light, turn the light off so I can't see.
Right.
I can't feel it, I blocked it.
A lot of people think that pharmaceuticals are a cure.
Oh yeah.
And it's really simply just a mask. It's covering it up.
That's all.
So what do you think now, what are some of the lifestyle changes that people can make to make sure or to try to have a healthier life or prevent some of these cancers from coming upon them?
The main thing that needs to be done is a change in what people are consuming and the time of the day that they're doing it. Mm-hmm. There's 3 8-hour cycles in a day. You have the elimination cycle from 4 a.m. to noon, and then you have the appropriation cycle from noon to 8 p.m., and then you have the assimilation cycle from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. And if you violate each one of those, you create problems for yourself. The early morning, when we get up, we should drink water. Mm-hmm. And you can put some apple cider vinegar in it, you can put a little baking soda in it, things that help alkalize the body because you've lost moisture while you're sleeping.
Right.
The thing you're not supposed to do is get up and the first thing you do is have a cup of coffee, creates dehydration. Or eat a big meal in the morning. I eat a big breakfast before I go. Now what you did is stop the body from being able to get the waste out. Because that's the elimination cycle of the body. 4 a.m. to noon.
Okay.
You're getting poop out and other stuff. So you make a nice smoothie. So it's not a lot of digestion involved. You swish it around in your mouth, swallow it, and the body accepts it, and off and running. So, and then from 12 to 1, you take a break. Maybe you drink some water or something, but you don't eat anything. 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, if you're eating a heavy meal, it should be done at 3 o'clock. Why? Because it can't roll all the way up to 8 o'clock, because now it's going to interfere with the next cycle, because you still have stuff digesting. And so if we can just get people to do that, line up, but they're, back in the day, I was going to these different restaurants after club closed. So I participated in some of that, and we were eating steak and whatever.
Right.
At 2 and 3 in the morning. But that was a much younger age. But I don't eat flesh at all at this point. Stopped a long time ago. But you have to be very careful about the times that you put things into your body. You can have, like maybe an orange or something light getting close to 8 o'clock, or drink some liquid of some kind. But heavy meal, it's going to be digesting to 3 or 4 o'clock.
Trying to sleep, right?
Yeah.
While the body's trying to heal
itself. The
itself.
body's trying to rejuvenate and recover, and it's still trying to digest this stuff that you put in you.
Right. Well, that's very important.
Very, very.
Yeah, so I'm sure you're going to get a lot of people following up with you on that information. They want to learn about that, and you said that it's what, assimilation?
It's when you're getting the waste out, the elimination cycle.
Okay.
And then you have the appropriation. So elimination, appropriation, and assimilation. Those are the 3 8-hour cycles.
Okay, all right. So are you taking new clients?
Yeah, and I even give them back to whoever they came. Yeah, we still are open to people who are serious. Want to come
About that.
and get them about their health, yeah.
I know that we focused on just cancer today, but what type of people do you see on a regular basis?
Folks who want to lose weight, folks who are tired, folks who got skin rash, skin issues. It can be anything, because we start with a cleansing process if they will do that. Okay. And most people will do it, and some, they'll come in and get an analysis, and they know they need to based on, the analysis, which, like I say, is not a diagnosis, but it's an analysis. And it points out, like vitamin deficiencies, mineral deficiencies, and it also provides the information for, say for instance, you have a vitamin A weakness. It tells you that, okay, you can get vitamin A out of carrots and this and that, Right. So it's that kind of, it's educating the person too, and it's done on, when I take the picture, it comes back and it goes to their cell phone. So they have it, they keep going back looking at it and say, oh, I'm supposed to do this, or I need to do that. Okay. And so that's one of the things that we do, and we have a lot of people are detoxing. We do ship a lot of stuff throughout the country, all over the country.
So it's very important for people to try to find out where they are. Yeah,
you get an analysis so that you have some idea of what's going on with your body. Because there are people who are in pain and they don't even know that they're deficient in this mineral or that vitamin or whatever, or that they're possibly dealing with stress in the body. And because it doesn't come out and say you have stress, but it will have. When you go to that part of the report, it says stress, and then it will talk about stress relief, believe, real or imagine, creates the same thing in your body. Right. If you think it's there, it's real with you. Yes. And so those are it comes back with things just to let you know that there's something you need to address.
Yeah, and it's very important that we, try to find out where we are, so that we can get healthier.
Right.
And so there's no harm in being analyzed. There's no problem because, again, pharmaceuticals are not the cure. Somebody could say, I have pain, so they go and take a pain pill, but once that wears off, you're still going to have
what you're doing is blocking the pain, like turn off the light, I don't see it anymore. Right. But it's still festering. And so we need to address our body and treat it like a temple, and it will perform like one.
That's amazing.
But if we treat it like a garbage disposal,
that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So how can people reach you?
Well, we have a phone number they can call to make appointments. 310-419-4372. That's our office number where you can call and make an appointment for counseling. We're open 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. We don't do any counseling after 1:30 because I don't have an assistant around. My assistant usually leaves at 3 o'clock, so she's probably chomping at the bit now to get out of here.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure that we put your information up because we want people to be healthier. We want you to know that there are alternatives out there that can help you to get healthier. And so, Dr. Rabb, we definitely thank you for spending some time with us today. And again, we're going to come back and talk about another subject because there's so much that people are dealing with, and we find out that people want to get that information so that they have options when it comes to their health care. Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate your time today. And again, we're going to put up Dr. Rabb's information for everyone that has questions or have tuned in and would like to know how they can get healthier. And so we thank you for watching our podcast today, and we thank KGLH for broadcasting our podcast. Thank you.